Okay, have either of you ever had an energy drink?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drink them occasionally, yeah.
Yeah?
With one hand.
Yeah.
How many a week would you say?
Probably about 2 or 3.
4 or 5.
It depends on how I feel in the morning after work days some days, because sometimes I'll work till 12:30 in the morning and then I'll feel really tired for school.
How do you feel after having an energy drink?
Energized. Yeah.
Kicks in about at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're just lying in bed and you're up.
It's 30 minutes are good, 30 minutes are bad.
You feel a hit of energy and then a pretty bad crash.
Yeah, I feel like a sloth. Can't really move.
To understand the hype around these, we first need to take a look at what puts the energy in energy drinks. Do you know what kinds of things are in energy drinks? What kind of ingredients?
Bad things.
It's not good for you at all.
No clue.
It's really, mate. It's a bunch of sugar as well, isn't it?
It's just flavourings and a bunch of sugar.
Like the sugar maybe? Yeah, sugar? Caffeine.
Like a lot of caffeine?
Caffeine.
Caffeine?
Oh yeah, caffeine. Caffeine. Yeah, definitely caffeine.
Caffeine, we know, is not as addictive as nicotine, but it definitely is addictive.
And normally we consume caffeine through coffee, and most people enjoy a cup of coffee in the morning to make themselves feel more alert and to wake themselves up.
Coffee.
What do you guys have there?
We're drinking coffee, Michelle.
Amazing. Coffee.
Absolutely.
This is Dr. Evangeline Mencioris. She's the Program Director of Nutrition and Food Sciences at the University of South Australia.
Caffeine is very similar to another molecule in our body called adenosine. And adenosine builds up in our body over the day, and so by the time we get to nighttime, adenosine actually binds to receptors in our brain, which we call the adenosine receptors, and they start to make us feel sleepy. And that's when we start to want to go to bed and, we have a lovely night's sleep. What caffeine does is it mimics what adenosine looks like, and it actually binds to these adenosine receptors, but it doesn't have the impact on us like the adenosine does. So it doesn't make us feel sleepy. It just keeps us more alert to our usual alertness levels.
Caffeine is considered the world's most popular drug, and in moderation, it isn't necessarily a bad thing.
There's been a lot of work looking at how much should we be consuming to keep most of the population safe. And what it's determined to be is 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. And that equates to about 4 cups of coffee a day.
But like anything, too much of it isn't generally a good thing, which is why there are legal limits for how much caffeine can be in a product. To try and make sure most people stay under the recommendation of 400 milligrams per day, Australia and New Zealand's Food Standards Department says that energy drinks are only allowed to have 320 milligrams of caffeine per litre, and that's for a grown adult. But certain groups, like those under the age of 18, can't handle nearly as much because their bodies, which are often smaller and still growing and developing, take longer to break down caffeine.
So for under 18-year-olds, we use the formula of 3 milligrams per kilo of body weight. So for a child that weighs about 40 kilos, they would only be able to have 120 milligrams of caffeine in one day, not in one sitting, in the whole day. They are really targeted towards children. They're very bright, they're very colourful, they have characters on them.
And then when it's supported by social media icons who young people are really, especially young guys, are really looking up to, spruiking the benefits of energy drinks. Yeah, they become really attractive to young people.
Last year there was a big craze about Prime when it came out. It grew insanely fast and became the fastest growing energy drink in the world.
When do you think was the first time you had an energy drink? What age?
Probably 11, 10 maybe.
Oh, probably about 8.
8.
Yeah.
Dr. Mencioris has also just been part of a blitz on energy drinks in South Australia, where more than 700 drinks were found to exceed the caffeine legal limit.
Many of these products have the same amount of caffeine that you would get from 3 cups of coffee or 10 cans of Coke.
So the ones that are legal are still out there on the market, But the concern is that some of those are even going to be too high for some children.
So, what does it feel like to have too much caffeine?
For the duration that I drank, it felt good, but after that, my face feels like oily and it's just terrible.
I can't sleep. And my head hurts a lot. It was like a big migraine I had. I could not sleep.
Increases your heart rate.
Sometimes I get a stomachache. It does give me an energy boost, but honestly, sometimes the caffeine is so strong it kind of gives me a headache.
Some people may start to feel very agitated, anxious. Their heart rate goes up. They feel overstimulated. For others, they'll get nausea. They may get diarrhea. For others, they'll start to get heart palpitations as well.
They can also lead to things like dental cavities and tooth decay. And then they can also lead to things like anxiety, insomnia.
And then with insomnia comes other mental health problems, anxiety, depression, because they're not getting that refreshing sleep they need to revitalise themselves.
In a survey conducted by the Telethon Kids Institute, more than half of young people who had energy drinks experienced negative health effects, some even requiring medical assistance. 24.6% had experienced heart palpitations, 24.5% had had trouble sleeping or insomnia, 24.3% had headaches, and 24% had upset stomachs. So, if caffeine can be risky for young people, should we ban energy drinks for those under the age of 18? Well, that question brings us to Dr. Sarah Youngson, a GP in Bridgetown in southwest WA. She spearheaded a ban on energy drinks for those under the age of 18 in her hometown.
I work a lot with young people who are struggling with mental health challenges, so anxiety and depression. And one of the questions I always ask when I'm trying to support these young people is around their sleep, because sleep is so critical to our mental health and well-being. And very, very often I would get the answers that they weren't sleeping. And when I dug a little bit deeper into why that was, it was often associated with energy drink consumption.
The ban started as a 4-month trial, but due to its success, it's continued.
It was amazingly well received. Young people were fantastic about it.
The community worked with researchers at the Telethon Kids Institute to roll out the ban by asking retailers to stop selling the products to minors.
Every single person or retail outlet in our community that sold energy drinks came on board with the ban, which is amazing. We know that mental illness has so many contributing factors, and this is one factor that is now no longer an issue.
So, should this ban go nationwide?
Yeah, we would really love to see that happen and to be public policy across the country. So just as in nicotine and alcohol is banned for under 18s.
If there was a ban for energy drinks for people under the age of 18, how do you think that would go?
Horrendously. I think it would just be exactly like the vape ban. People would just find different ways to get it. People would get so mad.
It would definitely stop selling as much in stores.
I reckon a lot of people are pretty upset because I know a lot of people love energy drinks. I love energy drinks. I use them to keep me awake for basketball games. So if they got rid of them, yeah, be pretty disappointed.
Most teenagers are getting to that stage where there's going to be a lot of pressure on them and they need to stay up, do homework.
I got a lot of friends that drink them all the time, so I don't think it would go that good.
I feel like Ronaldo, who said, what did he say? Bebe aqua.
Drink some water. Yeah, drink water.